Guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Empire. My name is CJ. I do beauty and lifestyle vlogs, and today I want us to get ready, do my it's usually like 15-minute makeup routine, like my go-to skincare routine. Oh my god, I just forgot I wore white. This brush is dirty. So as I talk to you guys about things I wish I knew before getting married, okay? Yeah, so let's get into it. I am going to gel down my brows because I'm not going to define them. So I'm just brushing them up to gel them down. So if you're new here, hi. So my name is CJ. I have been married. I was married close to 14 years. Say 13. Yeah, 13 years there about. When we began, it was a come we stay. And the reason why I even got married in the first place, and I really have to be honest, because I don't think most people even know, it was not out of love, at least from my end. It was because I got pregnant. I don't even think my ex-husband is aware of that situation though. But it was because I got pregnant, and me getting pregnant was actually by accident. I was very young. I was 20 what? I was 20, I think 22, 21 there. About, so just fresh out of high school, trying to figure life out. I didn't go to college, so I was working already. I ended up getting a job, and I ended up getting married. So that was happened. Started a come we stay because we needed to take care of the baby because I was pregnant, and there was no we didn't even have a discussion whether we want to keep the baby or not. It was just the most natural thing for us to do is to keep the baby, right? Because that is what everyone is supposed to be doing. I didn't have any thoughts of we need to get an abortion or things like that. And I wish I never, I thank God I didn't have those thoughts. So one of the things that, so we did, yeah, like I said, it was come we stay, but I ended up, that was in 2013. Yeah, 2013, because I found out I was pregnant in 2013 around January. Yeah, January. She was a January baby. Conception was in January. So now I decided, you know what, let's come together and start this journey of, I don't know what that was, but I later got traditionally hitched. He paid my dowry in 2019. So I got officially traditionally married in 2019, which was a good thing because now all my siblings who have been married, all of them have been traditionally married. And if you're Luo, you know how that is very important for your parents, or even as a woman. It gives you great pride and joy for someone to go to your birthplace and just pay some sort of respect to your parents and just pay the dowry and get you married. Okay, so that was done. I was traditionally married in 2019, and my baby by then was, I can't even remember, 6-7 years there, I guess. Yeah. I was I happy in the marriage? I think that is a story for another day, but I'm just here to talk about the things I wish I knew before I got married. Okay, that's number one. So the number one thing I really wish somebody told me about getting married was that you need mentorship. That one is very important. You need to sit down with people who have gone ahead of you to teach you, show you, tell you this is how marriage works, these things happen. There are arguments, love is not the only thing. You can't just get married for love. There's gonna come a time where you guys are not gonna be in good spaces, and you guys are not going to be in good terms and things like that. So mentorship, counseling, going through some sort of kind of things. Because when I got married initially, it was more I was hiding because, first of all, I had failed my siblings. I've been raised by my siblings because I got pregnant when I was supposed to be in school. I wanted to do law, I wanted to pursue law, but I didn't go anywhere with that. I did well in my grades and everything, but because of lack of funds and all that, so that didn't happen. My face has, I feel like my face has, because my makeup, I'm not going outside with my makeup, so I'm just gonna go in straight with concealer because I don't wanna do the priming and stuff. So So it was more like hiding, and then I ended up, settling down. And my siblings are not happy. Let me tell you, they were not happy at all, considering the fact that I was the one who was like working, and it was like there. I think at that time I was getting like 400 bob a day. Yeah. So I was like I was working for a wage kind of work. So 400 bob a day. How are you even gonna raise a kid? At that point, my husband then, or rather my boyfriend, was not working, as I remember. So it was me. But he was a good support system. I can't take that away from him. He was a good support system at that particular point. He was very good with everything that he was doing. At least he helped. There are things I can't take away from him. You see, I cannot sit here and just be like he's so bad in all the ways. No, there are things I can't take away from him. So eventually he ended up getting his shit together and ended up just starting to provide. So he provided. So one thing I wish I knew, as I've told you, is I wish I had like mentors who would guide me through, because sometimes I would see him and I'd be like, this guy is just sitting around, there's nothing he's doing. So I wish I had somebody who will tell me that these things happen like this, and you need to, do certain things, like you need to maybe have patience and things like that. Yeah. And also now coming to the aspect of sex, I feel like most people, especially young people of maybe that time or even now, feel like when you get, that feeling, you have that feeling of you're sexy, your adrenalines are high and everything. I think people always feel like when you get into marriage, it's always going to be a bed of roses. You guys are just gonna be having sex like right and center, cuddling, kissing, and like you're not thinking about responsibilities. That's why I choose when I'm uploading that this video is not meant for kids. So I think people really don't know that aspect, but it's not like that. So if I had somebody who would have mentored me and told me that that's not how it happens, I think it would have saved me a lot, because there are some things I struggle with a lot, especially when it comes to matters intimacy. I really struggle with a lot of things. So number one was just literally just mentorship, and also just have somebody like I can fall back to when I'm not, the way you have like best maids and best couples who stand up for you when your marriage is not working. So those are the things I wish like I had, so that I can always go back and not try to figure out everything by myself. That was like one major thing, or rather trying to figure out everything by ourselves. So that's number one. I wish I had mentorship. Okay. The major thing I wish I did is, before I got married, is enjoy my 20s. I wish I enjoyed my 20s. I wish I had some sort of, even when I'm talking about mentorship, I wish I had some sort of insights on matters pregnancy. Now growing up in school, we only taught about how, I don't think, were we taught how to prevent pregnancy? Yeah, we were taught, I think, yeah. But now we were not taught how, like, to not be ashamed and just go and, like, how it works. Like, do you have safe days? I don't know. I feel like it was a topic that was not being talked about a lot, and it was a bit just not okay. I picked up the wrong concealer, but anyway, I feel like it's a topic that was not really spoke about more. It was so much like hidden and things like that. So if I had like something, if I had like information, it's not like the generation Yasai, they have information. Even my 12-year-old right now has information on how even people get pregnant and things like that, and that you also have a choice. It doesn't mean that if you're pregnant you can't go back to school. I had that kind of guidance. That's what I'm saying. So I wish I had it. So things I wish I knew I did is do a lot more research and ask questions in regards to marriage, and in regards to why do I even have to, I would have asked myself questions. Do I even want to get married? Because I think for me it was just like, it was more like the normal thing to do. Like grow up, finish high school, maybe go to college, get a husband, get married, have kids. That is how our lives were, how can I say, were structured. We were not told that we had options. And I feel like when I settled into that relationship and got pregnant, I didn't have an option of thinking I can be pregnant and still be in my sister's place, or I can be pregnant and still live on my own and still pursue the things that I would like to pursue. So I wish I had information before I got married that I actually did have an option, but I just got into it because I was like, that's the right thing to do, not because it's what I wanted. I'm not even sure if I wanted or I didn't want, but I just did it because it was what was normal at that particular time. It was what the society had put for us as normal. So yeah, that's what I did. I'm using the V palette to highlight. So that's what happened. I never really got the opportunity to make a choice. I did it because it was what seemed right at that particular moment. Yes. So information and mentorship, those are things I wish I knew I did. The other thing I wish I knew I did before getting married was enjoy my youth. Oh my gosh. That one I wish I did, because what the hell? Because what marriage does, or rather just somebody's wife, woman, or being somebody's responsibility, it takes away your freedom at some point. It takes away what you think about yourself, what you can be for yourself. It takes away what you like to do, what you love to do, because I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know the things that I liked before marriage. I was just 20, 21 there, I think. I hadn't even thought about, do I really want to do law? Do I want to do makeup? I had no idea. So I wish I had more time to just enjoy my youth, have fun, enjoy my 20s. If somebody asked me right now, you can wait until you're 30. If I were to go back and relive my life, I'd get married at 30, at least, if marriage is like the goal for me. 30 would be my ideal age to get married. But because I didn't have that idea, I didn't enjoy my youth. So when we got together, I used to feel like, mtu anikazia man kazia, get, because now to them it feels like they own you, and so there are certain things you're not supposed to do, and vice versa. So for me, it also feels like you're supposed to be my husband, there are things you're not supposed to be doing. So I feel like that is also something that I wish I had done, enjoying my youth. And yeah, a lot. Okay, the other thing I wish I did is do a background check on your partner. I wish I did a thorough background check on my partner's family, especially, and even him as a general, because what I did was go by hearsay. What he told me is what I went by. Okay, so for example, if he told me they're 5 and I find out they're 7, I have to believe they're 5 because I didn't take time to do my due diligence. Very important to do a background check. Also, the most important thing is also need to understand, are our spiritual goals aligned, or what am I even spiritually inclined, and what kind of spirituality am I inclined to? So doing a background check was very important. What kind of altars is this family fighting? Are they fighting the same altars we are fighting, or what? Such kind of things, you get? So that was also something I wish I really did, because for the years that we stayed, there are some things you come and realize later and you get shocked and you can't change them, and you can't run away from them. So it was a bit hectic for me in that sense, because if you do a background check, then you're able to make some wise decision in regards to the family you're getting married into. So I feel like doing a background check, and the reason I'm talking about background check is because especially it matters regarding to how we separated in our separation. I feel like a background check would really have helped, because I feel like your extended family also has a very huge role on how you people are relating to one another, or how even your separation. I feel like your extended family has a lot to do with that. Yeah, so background check for me would have been definitely a good thing to do. And I think I wish I had dated longer, just had that time of dating longer, getting to know this person deeper, and just knowing what am I getting into. I wish I had dated longer than the time that I had thought about it. Also, I just wish also that I didn't start dating earlier. I wish I hadn't started dating earlier. I just wish I wouldn't settle for. I wish I knew what bare minimum is and what exactly I want in a man. So, like I said earlier, just information and just knowing yourself well enough to understand that this person is not the right person for me, to just get it earlier on than compared to just finding out later on after like you've wasted a lot of time and just be in one position for such a long time and just realizing that, oh my god, this is not working. Okay, but for me, the major things that really stood out for me is just that knowing the background check, very important. So if you're here and you're thinking, oh, maybe you want to get married someday, please do a thorough background check. Know their ancestors if it's possible. Just know who this person is, even if you have to know like their origin, whether they came from Egypt or they came from River Nile. Just have like a clue of what exactly you're going to do. I can't find my mixing palette. I'm just going in with my foundation in those areas where I didn't put. I'm using the Maybelline foundation in the shade 360. This has been my shade for such a long time. Okay, so another thing I wish I knew before getting married. And this is very important even for so many of us. I wish I got a DNA, not a DNA. I wish I had a genetic testing done. That one, guys, oh my god. If you're not married, please make sure you do that. It's going to save you a lot in terms of the kind of children you guys are going to have. Okay, so genetic testing. The reason why I'm talking about genetic testing and the reason why it is very important, even as you're thinking of marriage, is some of these diseases that our kids are having right now. Down syndrome, autism. I don't know if autism is part of the genetic disorder, but you realize that most of the diseases that are right now that kids are having can be prevented by just knowing the kind of genes your children, the kind of genes you as parents carry. It's easier for you to decide whether we are going to get married or not. And that's why I really like how Nigeria has done it, because Nigeria has a very high prevalence of sickle cell disease. So if you're going to get married, the number one requirement, I think, is to bring a certificate of genetic testing in regards to sickle cell. That is according to the movies I've watched. If you're Nigerian, please correct me if I'm wrong. But the movies I've watched, I've seen that when it is proven that you both have the gene of sickle cell, then they advise you not to get married. And they tell you now, if you decide to get married, that is your choice. You have chosen that in case you have children who have the sickle cell disease, then you have to bear with it and know how you guys are gonna live together in regards to that. So genetic testing or genetic information, I think I wish I knew that earlier onset. Maybe in the future we will discuss and I'll tell you guys why I'm talking about genetic testing. I wish I did that also. That's why I'm saying having a background check and just figuring out the partner you have, the kind of issues they're struggling with as a community, as a family, or as just who and where they come from is very important. Because now things like genetics, you'll be able to determine this family, they have like a recurrent issue of a certain thing or things like that. And even spiritual matters, you'll be able to know this family is fighting this and this, my family is fighting this and this, altars and all that. So genetic testing for me would have been a game changer from where I'm standing right now. And I'm speaking like that because I have had like a direct effect connected to genetics with one of my kids. So that would have been a very important thing for me to do. I'm out of foundation. Look at my face. So yeah, that was another thing. Also another thing I wish I knew was my spouse's past. I wish I did do a little more research in connections to his past, people he had dated before me, and that's what I'm saying. I think this background check is very important now that I'm talking about it anyway. what was the reasons for him breaking up with those people, who are his friends, that kind of thing. It's very important, because now when you get into that relationship, go bad day, you come and find out things that are very weird. Yeah, that. Another thing I wish I did in regards to getting married was his opinion in matters, or rather my partner's opinion in matters of my success. What do you think about my success? What do you think would happen if I succeed more than you? Like, what are our options? How would you feel if I get more money than you? Like, having such kind of discussions, like being in a space where we can genuinely just discuss and be like, to be honest, if you have money more than me, I would feel uncomfortable. Or rather, if I have money more than you, then this is what it is. Can we have a joint account? Such kind of things. How are our finances going to be? Do you need to have a joint account? Do you have to have separate accounts? So, and that's bringing me to the point of financial literacy. I wish I had like information on financial literacy prior to getting married, not because I was financially abused or anything like that, but I think it is important for someone to have, especially a woman, to have financial literacy, so that in future you can avoid some cases. Okay? Yeah, so for me that is also another thing. Yeah, another thing for me that really I wish I knew was the kind of relationship my spouse kept with the opposite sex. I think it would have been important for me to see how he relates with the opposite sex in matters friendship, and in matters, and how he would react to me relating to the opposite sex in matters friendship, to just avoid weird confrontations, like very weird. I don't like foundation on my hair. Just very weird confrontations and arguments on some things. So I wish I had that. The thing I wish I knew is that my spouse's happiness is not my responsibility. Yeah, that one. Because now, how am I saying that? It's not my responsibility in the sense that I have decisions to make and I have things for myself that I need to do. Whether or not it makes him sad, if it means me being accomplished, then his sadness is not my responsibility. And that marriage is not like, my spouse is not my end game. Like, he's not my everything. You get? Like, I still have a life outside my marriage. I think I wish I knew that outside my marriage I still get to have friends and keep them. I still get to make friends. I still get to go out and not push away my friends because my spouse is not feeling okay with that relationship. Because that's one thing about my marriage, is that I ended up really having a lot of emptiness in regards to friendship and feeling like those friendships don't serve me because of the narrative that he had placed on my mind or in my head. And I feel like it's more like isolation and trying to like keep you away from people, because at some point you get to this point you just like, you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to be near anyone. And it was just draining because I never really used to understand why I don't feel like I want to hang out with my friends. I just want to stay at home. And this home that I'm staying, it's not like I'm even staying with my spouse. He's going about his businesses. I'm already a mother. I have kids I need to take care of. For him, he just wakes up and go. He's not like thinking, if I go, who's going to cook, who's going to serve his kids, who's going to take care of the kids and things like that. But for me, I have to be there and think before I go out. I need to think. And now, most of my friends probably were not in the same level. Maybe most of them are still in school. Most of them are not married. We are the same age, yeah, but maybe I took a faster lead in matters life than them. And so you realize that sometimes the kind of things they want to do would be different to the kind of things that I'm supposed to do now, because I'm married and I have a family and I have all that. And most of the time I will gauge my decision of whether I want to hang out with my friends because of what my spouse would say. So if my spouse says, oh no, you can't go, I have to not go. I didn't have like that of I want to go. It was more like, do you think I should go? Because of I don't want to make him sad. I don't want to make him angry. I don't want us to fight. I don't want us to have issues. So I'm trying to hold back so that I can protect his peace. Oh, I wish I knew that his peace is not my responsibility. Just like I realized that my peace is not his responsibility, and I left. That's pretty much it. Because what they deem as peace for them is not peace for you. What they deem as bad for them is not bad for you. So at the end of the day, you people have come from different backgrounds. So definitely what this other person thinks about life is not the same way you view life. And people have to come together and sit down and think about that. I think that really affected me in matters marriage that I wish I knew about. And also wish somebody told me that people change in marriages. That the person you are dating, or rather the person you met, is not going to be the same person you're going to stay with for the rest of your life. I wish somebody told me that they change, because I don't know, because maybe life or things that happen in life change people, and people change for the best or for the worst. So I wish I had the idea of changes come, and you have to find a way of dealing with change. Okay, so those are some of the things I wish I really took a lesson on, or rather keenness in. I don't know who would have taught me about them, but I wish somebody would have taught me about those things. And somebody would have just sat me down and told me that marriage is not a bed of roses like we think. Okay, I think that would have really helped me out a lot. Yeah, so I'm almost done with this makeup. So the next thing I wish I knew about my marriage is that kids do not keep your marriage, and kids do not even equate to the happiness of your marriage. How many kids you give that man? If they don't respect you, they don't respect you. If they don't love you, they don't love you. If they don't want to give you peace, they'll not give you peace. Even if you give them a million kids, kids do not keep a marriage. So it is important for us as women to understand that I can have one child and be in that marriage, and if he doesn't feel it's okay, that's none of my business, because I want one child. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the responsibility of being a parent falls heavily on a mother, in regards to the emotional being, than it does to a father. I feel like a father feels responsible of their kids in matters provision, as much as there is love and all that, but I feel like it outweighs the motherly aspect of it, outweighs, depending also on the setup of the family. It might outweigh. But just to let you know that I wish I knew that kids do not equate to a long-lasting, or does not guarantee you a long-lasting marriage just because of how many kids you've had for them. It doesn't. So important thing to note. Yeah, finished my makeup look, and so also have I exhausted most of the things that I feel like I wish I knew before I got married. If you have been married before, or maybe you're even in a marriage setup, or you broke up or whatever, what are some of the lessons you wish you would have done before you got married, prior to where you are right now? Things that you wish you had information on, or regrets and everything like that. But those are my lessons. Those are the things I wish I knew before I got married, and I feel like they would have made a very huge change to now where I am right now, and where I was, and just in general everything that has happened in the past few months or days. So yeah, I see you guys in my next video. Let me know if you enjoyed this segment, and if you want us to have more of this, then we can have them. You can also suggest topics that you would want us to tackle. I wouldn't mind them. You can suggest topics that we can talk about in matters regarding life and everything in general. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.